How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the all-new Bentley Flying Spur Speed from a first-person point of view. An incredibly luxurious sports sedan with a top speed of 207 miles an hour and an interior fit for a king. Under the hood of the Flying Spur Speed is a 6-liter twin-turbocharged W12. Yes, that's right, not a V12, a W12. It cranks out 626 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. Now, because this car has active all-wheel drive and an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, it can rocket from 0 to 60 in just 3.7 seconds, and then on to its top speed of 207. I'm absolutely in love with the front end of the Flying Spur Speed because we've got the black line specification. All of the trim elements that would be chrome are now blacked out from the factory, including the Flying Bee mascot. Now, this mascot has been used for the first time since 1950 on the Flying Spur. Notice it also is illuminated, which is really, really cool. Welcomes you when you approach the vehicle. But if someone wants to take your mascot, if you pull on it a little bit too hard, it drops out of the way to reveal another gorgeous Bentley type font. I'm also in love with these matrix LED headlights. They look like something out of a diamond store, all of the little cuts. Now, going around to the side of the vehicle, another way to tell the Flying Spur Speed from a standard Flying Spur is, of course, this massive speed badge right here, but also the fact that it comes on 22-inch bespoke wheels just for the speed. Now, behind those wheels are 10-piston iron brakes, the largest of any ever fitted on a production vehicle. I love how intense the creasing is right here. This is actually an engineering marvel, being able to form that really intense crease line. Makes it look so muscular. Around the back of the Bentley, really classy, swoops down into those gorgeous LED taillights and oval exhausts to activate that trunk. Open it up. You just click on the B right there, and then boom, you've got access to your trunk space. The rear seat environment of the Flying Spur Speed is an incredibly nice place to be. We've got some of the most comfortable head pillows I have ever experienced, so you can relax in the back of the car. We also got a plethora of controls for reclining the seats, so you can be as comfortable as possible. Plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom. You even have your own sunroof back here. We've got some extra storage space with USB charging, as well as a tablet here to control the infotainment and climate. You can also get rear seat entertainment as well. Now, the driver's seat area is spectacular. Look at how gorgeous this 3-dimensional diamond pattern is on the door. Gorgeous aluminum trim. These seats hold you in place well, but look so stunning all at the same time. You can even bend the headrest to be more comfortable for your head when going around corners. Look at how gorgeous the steering wheel is. We've got paddles mounted behind the steering wheel for that 8-speed dual clutch transmission. All right, let's hop in. On the inside of the Flying Spur Speed now, to fire up that twin turbocharged W12, just click the start stop button in the center right there. That awakens the beautiful digital instrument cluster and beautiful 12.3-inch multimedia screen. Now, if we click this screen, one of my favorite parts about Bentleys is their rotating screen. Watch this. Those graphics disappear, and now we have a gorgeous analog setup where you can see temperature, as well as a compass and a chronograph, which is really, really nice. And then if you press and hold that again, you press the off button on the infotainment, it'll spin around twice, and it'll give you a seamless piece of trim all the way from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. That way, even though these graphics are fantastic for 2023, in 2040 they will probably look dated, but this will never go out of style. I love the floating clock here. We've got pushers to turn the AC vents on and off. A ton of different beautiful controls down here for the cooled seats, heated seats, etc. Speaking of the seats, we have tons of different controls. If I go ahead and open the door here, get a load of how many controls there are for the seat. If we click this button here, that will activate massage, which will pop up on this screen right here if we turn that back on. And then you have a ton of different massage functionalities to choose from. Let's go ahead and click that button once again. Check this out. Off, wave, pulse. Pulse is one of my favorites. It actually works really well. You can actually feel the massage on your back instead of just the tiniest little presses. Steering wheel feels fantastic in your hands with those paddles mounted behind. I think it's time to take this car out for a spin. Now, before we do drive it, one gripe with the interior is the backup camera. If we put it into reverse, it has a very fisheye lens to it, and it is kind of hard to tell where you are in relation to other objects. When there's cars to the left and to the right, they kind of appear like skyscrapers, and you're like this little ant trying to maneuver in the parking lot. I wish they would make it a little bit more realistic and maybe less wide angle. All right, let's take it for a drive. All right, behind the wheel now of the Flying Spur Speed. Let's see what this thing's got in the canyons. It actually has a very advanced active all-wheel drive setup and all-wheel steer setup that makes this big luxury sedan handle incredibly well at high speed in twisty environments. That all-wheel drive gives you tons of confidence, and because those rear wheels can turn in the opposite direction of the fronts at up to 4.1 degrees at slow speeds and turn in the same direction of the fronts at high speeds, you've got so much stability and so much maneuverability for such a big luxury car. It's actually insane. Now, I want to show you what launch control is like in the Flying Spur Speed, because it's actually really, really easy to activate. Easier than most supercars, and you're in a luxury car. I think that is so cool, just making it a simple process to set up. So all you have to do is come to a complete stop, and then literally just floor the brake with the left foot and floor the gas with the right foot. It revs up, and off we go. That W12 penetrating into the cabin. On overrun, when you downshift and let off the gas, it gives these nice burbles and backfires, which I absolutely love. Now, there's 4 driving modes to choose from. We are in Sport right now, and it does actually feel at home here in the canyons, which is a funny thing to say about a big Bentley. Then we've got Bentley mode, which is a combination between comfort and sport. Basically the best of all worlds. It's comfortable until you need it to be sporty. Then we've got comfort mode, where it floats like a cloud, and then we have a custom driving mode where we can actually choose all of the individual drivetrain components and suspension setups to make it to your liking. We'll put it into comfort mode right now. It just wafts above the road, absolutely no tire noise, no wind noise, nothing. Just the most serene, relaxing experience. Now at nighttime, we've got gorgeous ambient lighting, lots of color options to choose from. We've got a heads-up display right here, a ton of safety assistance features. We've got the Name audio speaker system that sounds absolutely fantastic. I have to say, these seats are so comfortable. They're gorgeous in their design, and they hold you in place really, really well. They also have a ton of different controls. We can control the cooled seats right here. It is actually really hot out, so I'll put those cooled seats on. And then you've also got massage functionality as well, if you click that button, as I showed you earlier. There's also night vision, which works pretty cool at nighttime as well. Mostly, I'm just impressed at how good this car is at everything. Daily driving, or if you wanted to travel across the entire United States, or you wanted to make a road trip across all of Europe, you could do that so easily in this. And then you could also make a stop at the Nürburgring and have a legitimate amount of fun driving this on the track. Yes, obviously it's not a supercar, but we've got the biggest 10-piston iron brakes of any vehicle, 664 pound-feet of torque, and a double-clutch transmission that shifts better than most sports sedans. Another one of my favorite parts about this vehicle, we'll go ahead and put it back into sport mode, pull back on this lever that puts it into manual. As you can see, it's M4, is the transmission. It's got an 8-speed dual clutch that shifts so fast, upshifts and downshifts. It legitimately has a better transmission than something like a BMW M5 that's supposed to be predominantly a sports car and a luxury car second. This is really a luxury car first and a sports car second, yet it has a better gearbox than some supercars do, which is really, really awesome. Visibility is fantastic. It's a very easy car to drive. I will say, not the biggest fan of the cameras when you're parking, but because it's so easy to drive and because the visibility is so great, you of course can revert back to the olden days before cameras were even in cars and park the car totally easily yourself without any of those aids. And because we have that rear axle steering at low speeds, it's incredibly maneuverable around a parking lot. It's long, but it doesn't feel that way. It really does have an incredibly impressive turning radius. Personally, I love the infotainment screen. The haptic feedback, the little clicking that you hear and feel when you click on the screen is amazing. The graphics are great. They really did a fantastic job with that layout. I also love the floating clock, the design, kind of like the Bentley wings of this air conditioning unit right here. All of the controls, everything just flows so nicely together. And it's just such a relaxing experience. Sometimes I forget, am I in sport mode or comfort mode, because it's so darn comfortable. It turns out I'm in sport mode right now, and I can make it even more relaxing right here. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. The Flying Spur Speed is an incredible daily driver that's capable of 207 miles an hour and also capable of putting a smile on your face on twisty back roads. All right guys, look forward to seeing you next video.